Two-way Congress-BJP debate. Before I come to Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, my question is to the BJP's GVL Narasimha Rao. Why don't you take it at face value? Why are you so sarcastic about Rahul Gandhi? I mean, if you heard Ravi Shankar Prasad there, he was dripping in sarcasm. Suppose Rahul Gandhi says, I don't like dynasty, I want to change the high command culture, and I'm not interested in being Prime Minister. Maybe he means everything.
I think no one is willing to believe such hoopla. What is he trying to tell you? He wants to end the high command culture which he and his mother are presiding over in the Congress party. This is a national party which has been in office for the last 9 years at the center, and mother is the president of the party and son is the vice president, and she has been the president of the party for eternity. And this is a joke when he says that he wants to end the high command culture in the Congress party and democratize it. The best way to democratize Congress party is for the family to simply make it democratic and have an election for the office of the president and simply not run in that, remain in that office forever.
Okay, I think a point is taken. Your point basically is, Dr. Singh, let me just put that briefly. BJP says that Rahul Gandhi embodies the high command culture. Rahul Gandhi embodies the power center.
I've heard him.
So, how can a person who embodies it criticize it so vehemently?
So, look at... hello? Can
yes,
you hear me?
Go ahead.
Yes, Arnab. See, I'm glad we are having a discussion one-to-one, and let's get some depth into this discussion rather than having just a tu-tu-me-me. I think, first and foremost, Rahul Gandhi's entire persona till now, from when he entered politics, has been of this kind. He has had a very renunciatory approach to politics. And I think this country and politicians and the public life sphere is so cynical, rightly so, that we find it difficult to believe that a person can have that approach, because we always have to read an ulterior motive, because we are filled and surrounded by different people. That's point one. Point two, personally, speaking purely personally, I may not entirely agree with what Rahul Gandhi said, because I believe that a large part of this dog-eat-dog mad scramble in the BJP is because they have no high command with single authority. I believe that for discipline and efficient working, there has to be one or two posts which have an absolute authority. But that's my view. That's not Rahul Gandhi's view. Number three, Rahul Gandhi has shown that in organizations of which he was in charge till now, Youth Congress, NSUI, he has done a revolutionary set of elections for crores of people across India, never before in Congress, never before in Youth Congress, never before any other party. Now, he has obviously believed in that. We also have had elections for the post of president where people have fought against Mrs. Gandhi and the earlier Congress president. We've had that once. But, yes, it doesn't happen frequently. But what is the alternative side to that?
Why does he not? Why does he question the question?
Half a minute more.
Why does he question the question?
Half a minute. Just half a minute more. Rahul Gandhi is today saying that he wants really to step back from this constant talk of Prime Minister.
Then say I don't want to be.
And make this party approach. Now, just see what's happening in the BJP. Don't you understand the cynicism of Mr. Rao? He's bound to make these caustic comments. That is a party where you have a mad scramble for the fruits and loaves of office. Each man is cutting the other. Each man is barely speaking to the other.
Okay, so let the BJP take that on.
Reaction the BJP has.
Let the BJP take that on. Let the BJP take that on.
Now, what Dr. Singhvi, what Mr. Singhvi is referring to as mad scramble is the democratic process that is gone through all over the world. It doesn't happen in the Congress party.
So you admit the scramble?
I think he has...
No, so you admit there is a scramble. You're only using different words to describe it.
Competent leaders...
No, you admit there is a scramble.
Come again?
So you admit today that there is a scramble.
Democratic way. The leadership is not denied to anybody in the BJP. In the Congress, leadership comes by birth. It is, unless you are born in the Congress party, in the Gandhi dynasty, you are not cut out for the big job. in the BJP, any leader who has grown from the
this
grassroots
dynasty argument
can
has been
aspire to
debunked
be
enough times.
holding the office of the president, office of chief minister, and can
Arnab,
aspire to be
Arnab,
the prime
let me
minister. This is how it happens all over the world. If
this-
Mr. Singhvi wants dynastic culture to be perpetrated, and he cannot make it look as if it's a great culture that exists in the Congress party. I think the real reason why Rahul Gandhi is making these statements, number one, is chickening out. I think he is really not having the courage and the confidence to take on a resurgent BJP.
No,
Point number
I'd
one.
like to ask-
because he has seen many
what-
electoral debacles
one second.
with him.
Here's a question.
projection.
Here's a question
Number
for
two.
you. Dr. Singhvi,
Number two.
no, I have
Let
a
me make
question
this
for Dr.
point.
Singhvi.
Number two.
No, one
the
point at a
Gandhi
time.
family controls the Congress party irrespective of who is in office. They have for the last 9 years, without any authority, without any accountability, they have controlled the entire government, and therefore it is a joke if they say it's a sacrifice or some kind of a self-abnegation
one sec.
for not seeking
Dr.
office.
Singhvi,
They are controlling
Dr.
power
Singhvi,
without
one minute.
accountability.
Dr. Singhvi, just a simple question here. If this is the intention, that we are going to end power centers, we don't have dynasties, we'll have large number of people ruling a party, almost sounds like the model of the Chinese Communist Party. If that is the idea, then my question to you is, why was it not done so far?
Let's look at this, Arnab. This word dynasty has been around now for a while, and I think BJP doesn't seem to learn at all. First of all, this dynastic argument has been used repeatedly in at least last 3 or 4 elections. Each time it's come back as a resounding slap to the BJP. You've had people threatening to tonsure their hair. You've had people raising it as a political issue in 2004 and 2009. And every time this so-called dynasty is elected, re-elected and re-elected with a thumping majority, then suddenly somebody forgets the definition of dynasty because they are elected. Secondly, the BJP with blinkers on seems to forget and see only dynasty when Congress president is there and now Rahul Gandhi is vice president. They don't see any dynasty in Thakres with whom they are in coalition.
No, that's not the issue. My question was, why did
Punjab?
Why was
That's no 1 minute. I'm on the dynasty
why was
first.
this? Why was this not done till now?
Number three. I believe that the Congress president and authority of the Congress president is what makes Congress a disciplined fighting machine, unlike the so-called scramble which
Dr. Singhvi,
Mr. Rao tries to pass off as democratization. People don't talk to each other, people don't function with each other, and now all of them are parroting the one line of Narendra Modi, who spoke of dynasty in his speech. That's all. The whole BJP is now parroting
Dr. Singhvi,
because they want to find an icon to follow.
what is the reality? Is Rahul Gandhi in or not going to be Prime Ministerial phase? Is he in or out? There's one very... One second. You see, one way of dodging the question... A standard way of dodging the question, any good question, when somebody asks, the best way to dodge a question is say that is a bad question. The problem is in the question. Now, I, however, would like to humbly submit it's a very relevant question. Does Rahul Gandhi want or does Rahul Gandhi not want to be Prime Minister? When you ask Rahul Gandhi, he says that is a bad question.
Can I answer?
Regardless of the question, what is the answer?
After you have asked, well, I'm happy that you are so self-congratulatory as to talk of your questions as a good question.
No, it wasn't mine. A lot of other people put that question. Yeah.
It must be a good question.
Yeah.
First of all, that question you have to ask Rahul Gandhi, not me, what he wants and what he
Again, you're
doesn't.
dodging.
That's in his mind. But let me make one thing clear. No, I'm answering that question literally, but let me make one thing clear. Direct answer to your question. There is no vacancy in the post of Prime Minister till 2014. After 2014, when the Congress comes back into power, certainly, the Congress would want Rahul Gandhi to take that position. That's a fair answer, it's an accurate answer, it's an honest answer. Now, if you want to mix up these two totally different things, that's up to you.
So the Congress party would like Rahul Gandhi to be Prime Minister? So that settles it.
No, I am saying there is a huge demand in the Congress that Rahul Gandhi should take charge after 2014.
Right.
Because I am saying when, not if. I have no doubt that the BJP will be lower on the scene after 2014 also.
Right.
And that is what is causing all the problem for them.
I find that very interesting. The second question.
I think Arnab,
the second question that I have for you.
I want to come
The
in
second
here.
question which I have for you, Dr. Singhvi,
Can I
is that Rahul Gandhi says, I don't like the high command culture. But at the same time, talking to reporters today, Rahul Gandhi justifies the high command culture of the 70s. He says, when Indira Gandhi started the high command culture, my grandmother was under severe assault. If I knew her, and if I would have been in her place, I would have done likewise. So I find a strong contradiction in what Rahul Gandhi is saying. On the one side, he says, I am against the high command culture. On the other hand, he's saying, if I had been in Indira Gandhi's place at that time, I would have done the same thing. You can't be in both boats.
Let me say, Arnav, that actually is a good question. That actually is a good question, but it is a question born out of some amount of confusion, and I'm glad you're giving me the opportunity of clearing that confusion. Rahul Gandhi is in fact reconciling what you say appears to be a contradiction. Look, Rahul Gandhi's entire persona, his style of working is, he's against this Mai-Baap culture. He's against this feudal culture altogether. And you can see it, and the BJP knows it, the country knows it, in the way he functions. He is a straightforward,
he represents
person.
it.
However, he's absolutely right. Can I finish, please?
His family is perpetuating
it. When he's describing history, you asked me a question, let me answer. He is actually addressing an issue where he says, I do not want a high command culture in the stultifying, narrow sense to continue. But I must tell you that when Mrs. Gandhi was surrounded by a clique or a group of people who wanted to either make her a puppet or to dethrone her, she had to resort to defensive tactics.
No. I have
Therefore, while I don't justify high command culture generally, I am today explaining the context in which Mrs. Indira Gandhi did it. That's what he's saying. So therefore, I think it's a very acute and a very clear reconciliation, because it is a fact of life. He was describing a fact of political history.
No,
that Mrs. Gandhi was in fact in a situation where she had
no, but I would contest that
to protect what she thought was the ethos of the Congress.
The opposite view on that would be that, with great respect to you, Dr. Singhvi, nobody is secular in a context and not secular in another context. Nobody is liberal in a context and not liberal in another context. Similarly, nobody can bemoan the high command culture in today's context, but say that in 1970s, if I had been there, I would have done the same thing. So what Rahul Gandhi does is he bemoans the high command culture, but he acknowledges that it was started by his grandmother and he would have done the same thing had he been in her positions. How do you reconcile these two positions?
Let me explain. First of all, obviously, I'll tell you. First of all, your analogy between secularism and high command is completely misplaced.
Why?
And that's where
both are values
begins. But forget that.
No.
That's only an analogy.
Both are values.
No. What he's saying is that she had to rely on a small number of people because she was surrounded by a group she could not trust. Let me put it very straight. It's political history and you know it as well as I do. Now that small group of people became over time, rightly or wrongly, to be described as a coterie or a high command. She relied on them because she needed people she could trust, as you do, Arnav, when you are in difficulty and I do when I am in difficulty. And that culture today, in that context, while it might have been understandable, not necessarily justified or not justified, but understandable, that culture today he wants to change.
Last rebut on that.
I find no contradiction.
Last rebut. Abhishek Manu Singhvi says he finds no contradictions when asked on the News Hour whether Rahul Gandhi's position on this or that are contradictory. He said there is no contradiction in that reference to Indira Gandhi. Dr. Singhvi, please hear a last response on the News Hour tonight from our guest from the BJP on that particular comment vis-a-vis Indira Gandhi.
I think, you see, Rahul Gandhi makes every statement he makes is contradicting to something else that he has said before. I think you are trying to analyze some kind of cogency in ideas and thinking of Rahul Gandhi. I'm sorry, I think he needs to really, he doesn't have clear thinking on any issue. We have heard him on very few topics, and whatever he has spoken either has, because I can read out a few statements that he made today, and I will be certainly, I'll be educated if Dr. Singhvi can highlight any of them, what it means. I want to empower MPs, 790 MPs. I want to empower 5,000 MLAs.
Yeah.
And youth are prevented from getting a high position.
What's wrong with that?
There will be an explosion. I know most of these
What's wrong with that?
Absolutely have no basis, and he is not sincere in making whatever statements he makes, and he makes statements without proper thinking and with a complete political kind of thinking in it, without having any basis. The comments that he made on the terror. and the comments he made, which were given out through the WikiLeaks, I think they bear this out. Even the Americans in their WikiLeaks pointed out he doesn't seem to have any clear thinking on any issue that confronts the nation today.
Last point. On the explosion point, just taking it further, my question to Abhishek Manu Singhvi, I'm extending this by 2 minutes, is Rahul Gandhi says, Abhishek Manu Singhvi, that I want to change the picture in this regard, that is stopping youth from getting key positions, because this is necessary to avoid an explosion. And he says at one point the pressure from the youth will be such that there will be an explosion. Now, Dr. Singhvi, there was an explosion as a result of the pressure from the youth after the Delhi gang rape case. There was an explosion from the cross-section of youth and society in the summer of 2011 with the Lokpal movement. But in both cases, Rahul Gandhi's complete absence when there was an explosion was completely conspicuous.
Now, two answers. First of all, yes, a person who speaks straight, a language of non-hypocrisy, not in double-speak, not in two voices, is something which the BJP cannot understand, because they can understand only the rhetorical, completely insincere and obviously political rhetoric of a person like Narendra Modi alone. That they clap on, but they don't appear straight talking. They don't appreciate straight talking people. Number two, Rahul Gandhi is a person who, even his worst critics concede that he is sometimes too direct, too forthright and too non-political in his comments. He calls a spade and he deals with the situation. I think everybody knows that in their hearts. And that is what you are seeing in this speech. He does not have to be standing and shedding crocodile tears or otherwise carrying placards on India Gate to show his solidarity. He has been clearly part of the process which had led to the fast-tracking of the Nirbhaya incident, to the ordinance. He was part of the process which led to a huge amount of
He was absent.
in the Lokpal movement.
He was absent during the Lokpal protest.
Of the committee, no, not at all.
When the protests happened, he was absent.
Cameras. Yes. Let me tell you, you are totally wrong. Of course he was absent. You don't have to go to India Gate and sit on Mr. Kejriwal and Mr. Anna Hazare's platform for you to call him to be a political activist. Of course he was absent there. But I was the chairman of the committee, let me tell you, there was very close interaction both at the Rajiv Gandhi Institute and elsewhere, and a lot of his inputs were directly discussed in several ways. So I think, this perception is completely wrong, and it can't be understood by people who rely on the double-speak and the hypocrisy of politics, which is exemplified by people like Narendra Modi. See his speech the other day, for which you got claps. See his speech. You call it a genuine speech, you call it a well-meaning speech, you call it a...
My question is on Rahul Gandhi.
Or is it nothing but
my question is on Rahul Gandhi.
Rhetoric. So that's the point.
My question is on Rahul Gandhi.
It's a difference of style. It's a difference of chal, chehra and charitra. He speaks straight.
Well, Abhishek
and you know that, and a lot of other people in politics don't understand.
Abhishek Singhvi,
blabbering inanities.
Okay, one second. Let's not get personal beyond. But the point is his complete absence during the political arena, and 2 times during the gang rape protests, and later during the Lokpal have been discussed about. They are conspicuous. You say he appeared before a select committee in Parliament. He discussed in the corridors of Parliament. I don't know if that is the only thing a practicing politician can do, but we'll leave that for another discussion. Dr. Singhvi and Mr. GVL Narasimha Rao, thank you very much.